Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tear down Axis Bank's latest quarterly report. Now look, I know financial reports can seem kind of dense, but trust me, if you know where to look, they tell a really fascinating story about a company's health, its strategy, and where it's headed. So let's dive in and see what this one's all about.
So this is the big question, right? How do we really know if a bank is doing well? It's almost never just one number. You got to look under the hood and understand the health of the entire operation. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
And right off the bat, the headline number is a big one. Axis Bank's profit after tax jumped a whopping 28% compared to just the last quarter. Now that's a huge leap, and it tells us right away that this was a seriously strong period for them. But the real question is, what's driving this? Yeah, that 28% profit jump is just the start of the story. Let's take a quick look at the other headline numbers that make this such a strong report card for the bank.
You know, at its heart, a bank's business is pretty simple. It's an engine that takes in money as deposits and then lends that money out as loans, making a profit on the difference. So first things first, let's see how well that core engine is running.
Let's start with the fuel for the engine, deposits. Total deposits are up a very healthy 15% compared to last year. This is a huge vote of confidence. It means more people and more businesses are trusting Axis Bank with their savings, which gives the bank more capital to work with. And here's the other side of that coin. The bank is putting all that fuel to good use. Total loans, or what the banks call advances, grew by 14%. This shows there's strong demand for credit out there, and that's how the bank generates its main income. So yeah, the basic engine is absolutely humming along.
So, where is all this great performance coming from? Well, for Axis Bank, a huge piece of the puzzle, you could almost call it their secret sauce, is a massive focus on digital innovation. It's like a turbocharger for every part of their business.
Just take UPI, for example. It's the absolute backbone of digital payments in India. Well, it turns out Axis Bank handles a massive 39% of the entire market. Think about that for a second. They are a critical piece of the plumbing for how millions of us move money around every single day.
And that digital momentum is just building and building. In just the last 3 months, they issued nearly 1 million new credit cards. They launched a new card with Google Pay. Their mobile app has a fantastic 4.8 rating on the App Store. And all this adoption has led to a really fundamental shift in how people bank.
And this number is just staggering, 97%. 97% of individual customer transactions now happen digitally. This isn't some future trend we're talking about. This is the reality on the ground right now. The bank has basically met its customers exactly where they are, online.
Okay, so things are growing fast, which is great, but that always leads to a really important question. Is it safe growth? Is the bank taking on too much risk just to get these big numbers? Let's do a quick foundational health check and find out.
So, to check a bank's health, we have to talk about something called gross NPA, or non-performing assets. The easiest way to think about these are the soured loans in a bank's portfolio. It's the percentage of loans that are in trouble, the ones that are at risk of not being paid back, and you always want this number to be as low as possible.
So, is the bank's risk going up as it grows? Well, the data says no. Actually, the opposite is happening. Their gross NPA percentage actually went down this quarter. This means that even while they're lending out more money, the overall quality of their loans has actually gotten better. That is a very, very healthy sign.
And what about a safety net, for a rainy day? That's where something called the capital adequacy ratio, or CAR, comes in. Think of it like the bank's emergency fund. Regulators say you have to keep a certain amount of capital as a cushion to absorb any unexpected losses. Well, at 16.55%, Axis Bank's cushion is way above the minimum requirement, which shows it's in a really strong, stable position.
All right, so the present looks strong, it looks stable, but what about tomorrow? A truly great company isn't just focused on today, it's actively investing in the future. So let's see what Axis Bank is doing to become a truly future-ready bank.
And look, these aren't just vague ideas on a slide. These are real, tangible investments. They're working with Hitachi on 24/7 digital branches. They're putting 80 crore into AI and deep tech research with a university. They're even collaborating to set up a health sciences institute. This shows a long-term vision that goes way beyond just hitting next quarter's numbers.
You know, this quote from the CEO, Amitabh Chaudhry, really ties it all together perfectly. It's not just about flashy tech. It's about creating solutions that matter by staying ahead of shifts in customer behavior. That's the core mission, and it's what's driving all these impressive results we've been talking about.
And all of this leaves us with one last, really interesting question to chew on. In an age where 97% of transactions are already digital and banks are pouring money into AI, what does the physical bank branch of the future even look like? What will its purpose be in 5 or maybe 10 years from now? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this